Thinking about getting the Sony ZV-1? Am I going to get it? Oh, I'm tempted, but I won't. I might. No, I won't. Maybe. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Here's why I probably won't get the Sony ZV-1. So I've got to admit that the Sony ZV-1 looks like a really good camera in a lot of ways. However, there's a few limitations that are kind of keeping me from getting it, and they all sort of boil down to one category, but there is one reason why I still might get it. So let me explain what I'm thinking. So there are three things that I was looking for a camera to be able to do, and I bought this thing. This is the Canon SX740HS. It's a nice camera, but there are three things that I was looking for it to be able to do. Number one, I wanted to be able to take detailed images that I could look and say, okay, this needs to be repaired, or on such and such a date, this was the condition of this item. So I could zoom in with a lot of resolution without it getting too blocky and be able to see enough detail to get the information that I need. Number two, I wanted something that I could use for YouTube and just recording video. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a mic input, and putting audio after the fact with a separate recorder turns out to be kind of a pain in the rear end. Third, I wanted to be able to use it in conjunction with a monitor through HDMI and be able to zoom in on something like a piece of paper and be able to make it look larger on a screen so I can read smaller print easier. They do have purpose-made units for this, but last I looked, they are thousands of dollars. Unfortunately, when I put this on a boom arm, pointing down at a desk, and had the image up on a screen, it seems to work great as long as it's pointing at something far away. But if it's closer than a few feet, it doesn't seem to be able to focus. And so even though it's large on the screen, it's blurry, it doesn't do me any good. So that brings me to the Sony ZV-1. A lot of people have complained about the zoom level, and I'm not really too concerned about that because I have this thing, and this has a really good optical zoom on it, and it has a pretty good high resolution. I believe it's 20 point something megapixels, and so I can zoom in on something fairly far away, get lots of detail, so I'm not really worried about that. So the Sony ZV-1 looks like a great camera that'll check off a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Looks like it'll be just a really awesome option for a lot of people. But here are the things that are making me think twice about it. So the first one kind of relates to that whole zoom thing, and that's the fact that it doesn't have interchangeable lenses. I can't just go get a really wide angle lens, or I can't just go and get a really good telephoto lens or any particular lens. You're stuck with whatever comes on the camera, and the aperture seems to be a lot smaller than those big lenses that you see on a mirrorless or DSLR. So another thing that kind of bothers me for something that's supposed to be an all-in-one camera is that it doesn't have a flash. Now, if you're always in good lighting and you don't need a flash, that's not going to be a problem, but I want something that I don't have to worry about that. If I need a flash, I'll have a flash, or be able to add a flash. I would like that capability. So a big one for me is the recording time limit. While it does record 4K, you're limited to 5 minutes unless you turn off the overheating protection. Well, I don't want to turn off the overheating protection because then maybe I won't have a camera at all. Finally, some of the reviewers are saying that the SD card and battery door are in an inconvenient spot for using it with a tripod. So you'd have to unscrew it and then, do the whole thing up. You can't just unclip, or just better yet, leave it on the tripod and pop in another battery or another SD card when you run out of space. So that all just comes down, in my mind, to lack of versatility. So unfortunately, even though it looks like a great camera, personally, I think I'm going to hold off. Hopefully Sony will come out with something that is a little bit bigger inside so it doesn't heat up as fast. You don't have to worry about the time limitation, has a flash capability, and has interchangeable lenses. That, in my opinion, would be the ultimate camera. Now, I said I'm still kind of on the fence, and that's because the CCTV units are definitely expensive. They're thousands of dollars, whereas this camera is less than $1,000, and it's even cheaper right now while you pre-order. And they are saying that it can focus as close as 5 centimeters. So I could have a document and it's still going to be able to keep that document in focus, and I can have it on screen so I can sort of create my own CCTV without buying one for thousands of dollars and have the benefit of having that camera. So I still may get it. I am tempted. Well, there's my thoughts on the Sony ZV-1. I hope this helps you out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thinking about Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Here's why that the SD card and battery door are in a very inconvenient. So really that all just comes down in my bit. So unfortunately, even though it looks like a great camera, so really that all just comes down to, in my mind,